Alright, YouTube, it's time for Occult Literature video number 77 on nature worship. Now, this is actually a study of phallism as it relates to sort of the divine, sexual, the sacred feminine, the left-hand path at its most literal meaning. It's actually a very interesting work, but it doesn't really ruminate on nature worship as in venerating trees and rocks and stuff like that. As always, link in the description to my edition on Amazon, where you can purchase it. Second link to my books blog. Many of the other titles within this series, late 1800s, possibly Hargrave manufacture, are available there in the section on spiritual works. On the left-hand side, there are also grimoires, alchemical works, folk magic. There's a lot of material there. It's all very interesting, or I wouldn't have bothered editing it in the first place. This work is probably notable most for the fact that it's more lurid than the other titles within the series. Of course, phallism. It's literally on the phallic within a spiritual context. But it doesn't go into significant descriptions about, like this does, temple prostitutes in the Hindu tradition, in certain parts of the Hindu tradition, as well as the worship of some of the, like the tantric sects. Certainly ancient Greece, the ecstatic rites of Dionysus are well documented. It goes into all of that. It talks about the Maharaja, the sort of caste of Hindus, or not caste, but group within Hinduism that practice sort of a ritualized licentiousness, sort of the Kama Sutra side of literally vulva worship as well. So it's an extremely strange work insofar as its content goes when it's compared to the other works within the series. You've got serpent worship, fairly self-explanatory. You've got tree worship, rather mundane, of course, in depth, but more mundane topics. This must have absolutely knocked people for a loop back in the late 1800s. This is sort of the center of moralist times, especially within British culture. It would have been very strange to its Victorian audience, which is why these works were privately published. They were privately printed up in small batch form rather than released through a mainstream publisher. I think that's a reason why. But this is more lurid, and it should have been titled, instead of nature worship, it should really have been called sex worship. I'm assuming that that would have been censored at the time, even in a private printing. It would have been considered so obscene that it would have been outright banned. But it is an academic work. It does go into many ancient treatises, especially from Greece. It goes into then modern anecdotes, especially from India. And altogether, it's about 136 pages in length. It's a fairly good work on the subject of the sacred sexuality of mankind. I'm assuming the illusion of nature worship is specifically human nature, sexual human nature, as opposed to nature at large, as we might generally term it. That being said, again, link in the description to where you can purchase my edition on Amazon. Very good work, highly recommended. Second link to my books blog. That's about all. Peace out.